In December of 2009, Yankees pitcher Ian Kennedy was traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Although he's now with the Padres, it was here in Arizona where he met Brian Hummel, the team chaplain, who quickly became a mentor in his life and now a dear friend. Right now, they're fitting in a game of golf before Ian's baseball game tonight. His team, the San Diego Padres, are playing in Phoenix, and the two athletes will take advantage of any opportunity to get out on the course. But it was the burden of injury that ultimately led each of them to the Valley of the Sun years ago.
When I got drafted, I wrote in my journal, and this is June of 1995, I said, Jesus, I can see the plans that you have for me. You want me to make it to the big leagues and share the gospel with hundreds of thousands. And 5 years later, I have 3 torn ACLs, a torn labrum, and a rotator cuff, and I'm out of the game. And I'm like, what happened to our plan, Jesus? But looking at big picture, He's allowed me to disciple and invest in guys who have the opportunity to share the gospel with hundreds of thousands, and I like that role way better. Oftentimes, our dreams fail in comparison to the dreams that God has for us, and I'm thankful that He crushed that dream for me.
After his time in the minors, Brian began working for Unlimited Potential Incorporation, or UPI, a company whose mission is to make disciples of Jesus through the game of baseball. Brian's role was with the Diamondbacks.
A normal day is you get there, you prepare, you hang out, you get to meet, you're hanging out with security guards, clubhouse guys, coaches, players. Then during the week, during the homestand, we do a Bible study for players that want to go deeper. Then I'll travel on the road a couple times a year with the team. And that's really when you get the best opportunity to really hang with them, because now they're away from their families 82 games a year. And when I can be on the road with them and I'll room with the guys and we'll just hang out and just talk life and work through stuff.
Brian's story of injury led him to a new career path, while Ian's led him to a new team.
Ian, he went through a lot in his own career. First round pick by the Yankees out of USC. Then he had a shoulder problem, had to have surgery, and then kind of a restart of his career, and then he pitches in the fall league and then gets traded to the Diamondbacks. So I met him and his wife, Allison.
He did our spring training in Tucson, and probably on the team for maybe 2 weeks. That was a whole new adjustment for me, because you're trying to meet all new guys. You're on a completely different part of the country. It was pretty nice to have Brian right away.
They were there every day, every study that I did, and then just getting to build a relationship with them, we really connected pretty fast. You know,
I liked him because he was real. He didn't hide any of his flaws, and immediately I felt like, man, I really can get to know this guy pretty good. Then 2011 came, and I told him, like, before that season, I said, hey, I kind of stood back because I felt like the new guy still, and I want to be more of a leader in our group. And I think he saw that in me, and said, okay, let's do that together then. And he put a lot more on my shoulders.
That's when their relationship grew into a true friendship. And years later, when Ian faced adversity once again, it was Brian who he turned to for guidance.
I was struggling really bad last year, and got to some core issues in my own walk. And talking to Brian about it it was awesome to actually embrace that struggle, try to figure out what God's doing in you. I remember one of the texts was, hey man, I don't know what God's doing, but He has my attention.
I oftentimes tell guys that if you can trust God in this game, it's like you've graduated from Harvard. Because the things that you get put into are unbelievable. You don't have control of hardly anything out there when they make the game central to their lives. Then it creates chaos everywhere else around them. And for a lot of players, that's their life. But they're not going to be playing the rest of their lives. And what's going to happen when you're done? 85% of basically all athletes are either bankrupt, divorced, or addicted to some drug within 3 years after being playing. It's a big deal. So if they can trust God in this situation, in these circumstances, it's a pretty cool thing.
And that's exactly what Ian did.
A matter of 2 weeks later, I got traded to San Diego. It was pretty cool just to embrace that trade. I mean, God couldn't put me in a better spot putting me in San Diego with the coaching staff. I mean, just playing in San Diego, it couldn't be any better.
After the trade, the two still remain close friends and even went on a couple's missions trip with their wives to the Philippines in December. Ian had the opportunity to share his faith. Here he is at a school outside Manila witnessing to roughly 500 students, but it's not always easy to stay in touch.
But that's the thing with this game. People come and go real fast. So you just constantly, you stay in touch, you gotta do the best you can to make it work. Just like any friendship, you just gotta, if it's a friendship worth fighting for, then you're gonna do whatever it takes to make it work.